Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today I want to talk about male loneliness and how this could be ruining your life. So loneliness is something that a lot of us have felt at some point. I know I definitely have, and so many of you have as well. It's one of my most common asked questions, DMs, messages. How do I get over loneliness? How do I get over feeling being lonely? How do I make friends? I mean, the questions I get are pretty endless here. So as lonely as it might feel to be lonely and as isolating as that might seem, know that you are actually not alone in feeling that way. So in this video specifically, I'm going to be talking about male loneliness. I know that women can obviously feel lonely as well. I found so many great articles about this, and I want to share little snippets of them with you because I think it's something that we really underestimate as a society, how important human connection is, how important human interaction is, and how being lonely is detrimental to men and our society in general. And I think when you know this, it can kind of help you make sure that you're not doing this in your own life and you're really trying to put yourself out there, make connections with people, and be the best you that you can be, because I know that loneliness is something that affects so many of you. So let's get started. So many men are yearning for a connection, whether it be a community, a friend, a significant other, and men actually struggle with loneliness way more than women do. Men tend to struggle with isolation and loneliness far more than women do and are actually less likely to admit it. Like I said before, in my entry form, one of my most asked questions is regarding loneliness. How can I get over feeling lonely? How can I make friends? How can I put myself out there? How can I do this? And it all just comes back to this feeling of being lonely and kind of this desperation also that stems from it a little bit. I think when we're lonely and we don't have any positive influence in our lives, or any great people that we're surrounding ourselves with, or really just anyone to connect with on a deeper level, you almost get a sense of hopelessness and desperation, and you feel alone. You feel alone and powerless in a world full of so many people. So I know that so many of you feel this way because you've told me yourself that you feel this way. So I really want to go over how loneliness is impacting you. And then also, as in typical Courtney fashion, we're going to offer some solutions for you at the end of the video, because I think anytime you present a problem, I think it's also really important to present the solutions, because typically there's always a solution to problems. So now I'm going to share with you some things from this article that I found. It says, loneliness is not only an unpleasant feeling, it is an interpersonal impairment that causes significant harm in the lives of men. Research suggests that a focus on the accumulation of wealth and material goods results in less overall happiness in life and less satisfaction in intimate relationships. The Harvard study of adult development followed a group of men for 8 decades. Throughout the study, at different points in their lives, the men were asked, "Who would you call in the middle of the night if you were sick or afraid?" Those men who had someone to turn to were happier in their lives and their marriages, and also physically healthier over time. The danger here is not only the emotional cost of loneliness, although that is substantial. Close relationships with other people have more of an impact on our physical health and longevity than even our genes do. A satisfying relationship life can extend longevity by up to 22%. Loneliness is a risk factor comparable to smoking, obesity, and high blood pressure. Loneliness in men is correlated with cardiovascular disease and stroke. 80% of successful suicides are men, and one of the leading contributing factors is loneliness. While many physicians ask questions about risk factors such as smoking and alcohol consumption during an annual physical, the research suggests that they should also be asking how satisfying their patients' closest relationships are. And when I tell you, after I read this article and read those 2 paragraphs, I gasped when I read some of that, because I just could not believe the fact that we don't even talk about this. How as humans, we need connection with other people. We long for it, we need it. And there are so many men and people in general who are just so lonely. They don't connect with anybody. And then it gets to a point where, think about OnlyFans for a minute. And the reason why people call it lonely fans, because a lot of the people who subscribe to content on OnlyFans, we'll call it lonely fans, are lonely. They feel like they have no one to talk to. They feel like they have no one to connect with, so they're willing to pay a subscription service per month to talk to a creator or feel like they have this emotional or just a general connection with another person, when a lot of the time it's not even the creator that they're talking to. It's literally like someone the creator is paying to message all these people or whatever it is. You can pay for different things on there, but a lot of men pay for that or just pay women to talk to them in general and don't even think twice about it because they are so desperate for this connection. And you know, I used to have a very judgmental view of people like that, but I truly don't know what it's like to experience loneliness to that level, and to feel loneliness to an extent that you're willing to pay someone to talk to you is just so sad to me. And I think it could be avoided in so many different ways if people would recognize this and how big of an impact it has on your life, number one, but also the ways that they can fix it. So why are men so lonely? Number one, a lack of vulnerability, an inability to connect with people on a deeper level, showing no emotion, feeling like you have to act tough or put up a front all the time, act like you're okay when you're not. Going back to the little snippet I read from the article, 80% of successful suicides are men. 80%. That's insane and so sad. And, society and stigma, I think, has a lot to do with that as well. Again, showing no emotion, acting like you have it all together when you don't, pretending you're okay, feeling alone and helpless and having no one to turn to is a horrible feeling. And another one is a lack of bonding opportunities. A lot of men are really focused on their career and making money and aren't really nourishing relationships or friendships as much as they should be. So I also found this article that said men often don't have close friends. In heterosexual relationships, women often maintain friendships for the couple. And then they also said boys start out feeling as connected in their friendships as girls do, but they tend to neglect personal relationships to pursue external success. When men lose the protective social structures provided in high school and college, they often find themselves interpersonally adrift, unsure how to establish or maintain close relationships with other men or women. And that's why, men feel a sense of loneliness more than women do, because they don't know how to connect with people. They're like, oh, it's weird if I ask this guy to go out to dinner with me, or it's weird if I do this, where girls don't even think twice about it. Like, I hang out with my friends, I go out to dinner, we go out to dinner together, we do whatever together, and a lot of men just don't feel comfortable doing that. And I do think, as a society, we are definitely progressing in that area where it's normal to connect with people. It's okay to be vulnerable and have a deep connection with someone and connect the way that humans are meant to connect, right? When you look at the statistics and the way that loneliness impacts your mental health and your physical well-being, I think that should light a little fire under you to make an effort to want to connect with people in a real way. And I know with social media, you feel like you have all these people at your fingertips and you have access to all these people, but it can often make you feel even more alone sometimes. So I would encourage you all to really take a look at your life and the people that you surround yourself with, or if you don't surround yourself with people, and understand why that is the case and what you can do to improve this and make it better. Humans are meant to connect with each other, and I think this just goes to show how much loneliness can harm people and get them in trouble. Loneliness is obviously causing mental and physical pain for a lot of people, but I think even more than that, it leads you to making poor choices for your life and yourself. It leads to a scarcity mentality of, oh, I'm never gonna find anyone, so this is the girl for me. And then you become needy and clingy, or you pay for a girl on OnlyFans. You pay for a connection with someone because you feel like you can't get that naturally. It just leads to a ton of really negative things for men. When you look at it big picture, I think that loneliness is a root for a lot of people as to why they make poor choices and why they feel depressed and why they feel unfulfilled and unhappy. And I know that you can't rely on other people for that, but at the end of the day, we're humans and we're meant to connect. And I think realizing that and recognizing it for yourself and your own life is really important for your growth as a human and your personal development. As much as we sometimes want to feel like we're self-sufficient and we can do everything on our own with nobody's help and nobody around us, we're meant to connect with people, and having close relationships that you can nourish as a human is really important for everyone, not just women, but men too. So now, some ways that we can combat loneliness. Listen, I've been there. I put myself in a place of being lonely. I would always say no to plans. People would invite me out. I would say no. Maybe it's because they were going out drinking and I didn't want to drink, so I just wouldn't go. or, I would rather lay in my bed and work, or whatever it is. I know there's so many reasons why we say no to things. And as great as it is to set boundaries and to be able to say no, I do think saying yes sometimes is important. Loneliness for a lot of people is a choice. Maybe you're saying no to things like I did. Maybe you are an introvert and you really don't like to go out and do things. As great as that is for many reasons, I do think it's important to still make sure that you are getting some human connection. You could join a gym or a fitness class. This is a great place to meet people in a classroom setting with like-minded people who are there to better themselves, to be healthy, and to get their body moving. So great place to meet someone, especially if you're into fitness or even you're just starting out. It's a great place to meet someone no matter where you're at in your fitness journey. Number two, kind of similar to the fitness class, is to join local communities or groups of people that have similar interests to you. So I actually follow this girl, and she started a Girls Who Walk group in New York City. So on Sundays, all these group of girls that don't even know each other get together and walk around the city together to get their steps in, but also to connect and to make new friends. New York City, heavily populated, so many people, but one of the cities where you just feel so alone sometimes. In a city that big, it just makes you feel so small. So I thought that was really cool, something that you would probably do by yourself anyway, walk around. Do it with people that want to do it too. So again, it doesn't have to be fitness related. It can be whatever your interests are. So maybe you're really into fashion, you're really into photography, or playing chess. I mean, there's a group for legitimately everything nowadays, and you could even start by joining something online. Start talking to people online and join an online community. I mean, even if we're just looking at YouTube here, the manosphere in general has such a tight-knit community of men who, follow creators and all start talking to each other in the comment section because they feel a level of relatability. They want to connect and join a community of people that, think the way that they do or feel the way that they do. I really like seeing you guys talk to each other in the comment section when it's nice and positive, or even when you guys are just having maybe a disagreement, but you guys are being civil about it. I think that talking to other people and just learning what other people's opinions are and views are and just connecting with people even in a comment section can be a great thing. Number three is one of the most obvious ones, and that is social media and really utilizing this to your advantage. I know, again, it's one of the things that sometimes makes you feel more alone, but if you use it the right way, it can really help you meet new people, make new friends, and connect with people that maybe you wouldn't necessarily, meet in real life or connect with in general. So don't be afraid to connect with old friends on there. Maybe you reach out to someone you went to high school with and you ask to grab coffee or something like that. Or you can simply reach out to new people. That's how I've met so many of my friends in Cleveland, by just messaging them on Instagram. I've asked them to be in videos, or I've just messaged them, saying, hey, I'm in Cleveland too, would love to get together sometime and meet up. Or if I see someone on Instagram that I think that I would get along with, just messaging them and saying, hey, we both live in Cleveland, would love to meet up sometime. Like, it really, all it takes is putting yourself out there. And I know that's scary. I know it feels very vulnerable to put yourself out there and message someone with the fear of maybe they won't want to hang out with me, or maybe they'll reject me, or maybe they won't message me back. And it's better to try and to get nothing rather than to not try at all. By not trying at all, you're already failing, and you don't even give yourself the opportunity to succeed. So I think it's better to just get out of your comfort zone a little bit, put yourself out there. The worst that's going to happen is the person ghosts you and doesn't reply. Big whoop. And my last little tip here is to invest in your friendships and nourish the relationships in your life, whether that be a partner or your friends or your family. Really make sure you're taking the time to put in effort for these relationships, and don't just put them on the back burner because you're more focused on work or making money. I know that life gets busy, and with this hustle grind culture, we can get very caught up in working and trying to do all these things. But I really do think at the end of the day, one of the most important things is the people that you have in your life and the people that you can connect with and have there for you. I know the older I get, the more I cherish and understand how special my friendships and my family are to me. And I know, again, sometimes you get caught up in working or whatever it is, but really making sure you're nourishing this part of your life is really important, especially for men here. I think often men have career and success at the top of their list, which is amazing for so many reasons. I think that it's great to go after your dreams and to want to make something of your life, but also don't forget about the friendships and the people that you have as well, because the people you have in your life can make it or break it. And if you have good ones, make sure you're nourishing that. And if you get into a relationship, make sure that you're still spending time for your friendships as well, because you never know, what if you break up with your girlfriend and then you've neglected all your friendships and you have nobody. You're going to feel lonely, you're going to feel sad, and it's not worth it. So make sure you're still nourishing your friendships even when you get into a relationship. So that's all I have for this video. Really, to wrap it up here, I just want you to recognize how loneliness can negatively impact your life, and take a look at your life and really try to understand if this is something that is happening to you, or you're going down a path where you could see this happening to you. I think it's important to be self-aware and to recognize this so you can put a stop to it if it's something that you see happening. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, loneliness is obviously affecting men's mental and physical well-being, but it also just leads you to make very poor choices and decisions, and often ends up getting people in trouble. So just something to keep in mind going forward. I don't want any of you to feel this way. So let me know down in the comments if this is something you're dealing with. What are you doing to combat your loneliness and get out of it? If you try any of the little tips I mentioned here today, please let me know how they help you, and connect with some guys down in the comment section. I would love to get a tight-knit community here where we all get to know each other. And there are some of you that I see comment on every single video, and I feel like I have like a digital friendship with you. So it's always nice to see the same faces down in the comment section. But if you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. Love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.